Hey English 112, it's Miss Brewer and I am your instructor for this spring semester. I'm going to use different types of videos throughout the semester, so some of them will be this way, YouTube videos where I'll ask that you just have Moodle up. You don't have to watch me talk to the camera. You can flip out of the video and follow along in Moodle, just follow my voice. Other times I will utilize Blackboard Collaborate, where I will record a video and kind of share my screen with you guys so you can see what I'm going through. So I'll ask that you guys go to your Moodle page and kind of follow along, as in the welcome video here I just go through some basics about the course, and then there'll be a separate week 1 video that you can access in our week 1 section. So you're in English 112, which is reading, writing and research across the disciplines, meaning you're going to read, you're going to write, and you're going to research. Writing and research are in the title, and you can't do either without reading. So kind of prepare yourself to do those things for this course. My contact information is right at the top of the page. So my name is Siobhan Brewer. You pronounce it Siobhan. I know it doesn't look like that. My office is in the Waller building. It's office 114. I'm across from the Dean's Suite. My student hours, which just means that these are the hours that I'm in the office available to students. It doesn't mean these are the only hours that I'm available. You can always set up a time to talk with me, meet with me virtually, or come by. But you can guarantee that if I'm on campus that day, I'll be in my office on Mondays and Wednesdays from 11 to 12, and Tuesdays and Thursdays from 8:30 to 10, available for students to come by. I can also meet with you virtually or over the phone. So let's open up our syllabus. It's under course information. So just click on that and follow along with me as we go through some of the expectations for this course. I'm not going to read the whole syllabus to you, but I do want to highlight some important things. So the prerequisite, of course, for this class is English 111, and it is expected that you have the information and the knowledge from that course as we move into this course for English 112. There is no required textbook. Everything you need you can find links to online, so that's good. That'll save you a little bit of money. You have my contact information. If you have an issue, please contact me, let me know so we can try to resolve it. If it's not resolved to your liking, you can feel free to contact Miss Keffer. She's the chair of the English department. If she doesn't deal with it to your liking, you can feel free to contact Dr. Whelan, who is the division chair. And then if you're still unhappy, you can always contact Dr. Maddox Fisher. So some basic information about our course. You can find the course outline here. You guys are going to look at different documentation styles, different writing styles. You'll do a bunch of different writing assignments that will include research and analysis. There's a breakdown of the hours here, just kind of telling you what we're doing. You want to get into the grading criteria. That's probably what's interesting to you. So this course is built on 4 different categories. Coursework is your category that's going to have the most assignments. It's worth 30% of your grade. Essentially anything that's not in the other 3 categories falls under coursework. So any journals, quizzes, tests. I don't do a whole lot of tests, but tests, discussions, you'll participate in discussion forums, any classwork or pre-writing that you might do for essays. Essentially anything not included in MLA format or APA format is going to fall under classwork. 25% of your grade is MLA format. That's consisting of 2 assignments: your formal thesis and outline and your final draft of your MLA analysis paper. So it's imperative that you really put the work in on those assignments because they're 25% of your grade. APA format includes your annotated bibliography in APA format, a final draft of a literature review, and a final draft of a business presentation. So 3 grades make up 35% of your grade. So essentially 5 grades make up 60% of your grade, because those are your writing and your projects. So you really want to make sure you put forth the effort on those assignments. And then your final exam covers everything we talk about in the class, and that's 10% of your grade. So some information about the course policies. One of the really important things to know is about prior knowledge. It's expected when you come into English 112 that you know MLA format, that you understand the recursive writing process, that you understand basic English, and you know how to synthesize and gather research and utilize that for a paper. These are all things that we teach in English 111, and it's expected that you know these things in English 112. If you scroll down to where it says contacting your instructor, these are policies that are particular to my course. So the best way to reach me is via email, obviously. When you email me, please make sure you use your LCC email account. And then also make sure that you properly format your email. And I give you an email format that I want you to use. So I want you to have some sort of salutation, identify yourself, tell me which course and section you are in. I have 2 online courses of English 112. I have 4 face-to-face courses of English 112. So it's really important that you don't just say English 112. You tell me which online course, LIN, LIN1, etc. Then I want clarification on this assignment, and here are my specific questions. Okay, so make sure that you are specific in your email. And then of course you sign off. Underneath that, you'll see in bold and italics that my communication in this course takes place between myself and the student. So while you may have a FERPA form on file, that means that I can talk to your parents, not that I have to. And any communication that I have in this class will be between me and you as the student, because it is your education. So if your parents have questions, you should email me and CC the parent on it. If your parent contacts me, I will respond to them through you, because it is your education. If you go to submitting assignments, it's imperative that you guys submit all your assignments through Moodle. You are required to use Microsoft for your formal assignments. So anytime you're going to type something up and put in an attachment, it needs to be in Microsoft. And we do offer you a free Microsoft download. So it's important that you use that. For your final presentation, you'll use a PowerPoint presentation. I don't want Google Slides. And if you use anything on an Apple, you'll need to make sure you convert it to a Word document. I cannot open Pages or anything like that. I don't have an Apple computer. And I do not accept links to assignments. So if you put a link in there, I will not accept the assignment. So make sure that you are uploading your assignments properly. My late work procedure is next. In this class, you have a due date and you have a deadline. Your due date is when the assignment is due. However, life happens, so there's a deadline. The deadline is 5 days after the due date. That means I will accept that assignment for 5 days. However, there is a 10% late point deduction per day. So it's important that you want to turn it in earlier rather than later. What that means is, let's say you're turning in your literary analysis paper, it's a 100-point assignment, but you turn it in 3 days late. So maybe you earn a 75 on the paper. That's a C, that's average. So unless you consider yourself an exemplary English student, a C on a paper is a great job for you, as if you're average in English. However, because you turned that paper in late, it's deducted by 30 points, and it's now, instead of a 75, it's a 45. So we want to make sure we turn our assignments in on time. That grace period that I offer does not apply to attendance assignments. So if you turn your attendance assignment in late, you will be marked absent for that week of the course. So make sure you're turning your things in on time. Your APA literature review is only a 24-hour grace period. We're working on that paper for a couple of weeks, so it's a 24-hour grace period as opposed to 5 days, and it is a 15-point late deduction, so you really want to turn that one in on time. There is no extension for the presentation and the final exam, as they are due at the end of the semester. They cannot be made up. If you don't turn them in on time, they're cut off, so make sure you get it turned in on time. I also do not offer extensions the last week of class, so don't ask. In regard to this course, the course content and language, please take a moment to read through that when you get a chance. I'm going to highlight a couple of things, but I do explain thoroughly in this section the content that I choose to teach and why I choose to teach it. So in this class, the literature that we read will address social issues that we deal with currently as a society. And it's important that we have conversations about these things, whether it makes us comfortable or uncomfortable. We need to consider why things make us uncomfortable and what can we do about that. So the reading that you guys do will cover social issues, again, that we deal with daily, some of us more than others. It's important that you guys, be honest, be real, be brave enough to say what you want to say, particularly in a discussion forum. But remember that we are looking at the literature to analyze, not just our personal experiences. And it's imperative that we are constantly citing and referring to and analyzing the literature that we're reading. In addition to that, we'll have some conversations regarding race and things like that in this class. It's imperative that you guys use people first language. It's an expectation in APA format to use bias-free language. So using people first language helps us to do that. It's a really good paradigm shift to have in our regular lives as well, not just for this class. So remember that when we describe people, we don't use adjectives to describe human, we don't use their adjectives. They are a noun. All right. So we address people as a noun. We don't say blacks or whites. We say black people, white people, people of color, indigenous people. Okay. That's really important. We don't say, handicapped people. We say a person with disabilities. People first language. Okay, so you wouldn't refer to me as the adjectives that describe me. You would refer to me as a person. And that's really important that we write that way and that we try to make the paradigm shift to think that way as well. So I will expect that that happens in this class, in your journals, in your discussion forums, and in your papers. So really try to pay attention to what you're writing. This is a newer development in language within the last 5 years or so. So in some of our scholarly articles, you may still see these terms being used. However, we are making the language shift away from that. My intent has been to find literature that covers a lot of social issues, and a lot of the poems that you'll read this semester cover more than just one. So don't go with the most obvious, okay? Go with the one that means something to you. Go with an issue that you care about when you're looking into research and things like that later on in the semester. You don't have to go with the surface value. You can dig a little deeper, and I encourage you to do so. All right, moving on to plagiarism. LCC has a very strict plagiarism policy. The first instance of plagiarism in this class, you will receive a 0 for that assignment. The second instance of plagiarism in the class, you will receive a 0 for the course. You will fail the course. So it's imperative that you guys are aware of plagiarism. I give you some different examples of what plagiarism could look like in the class. So it's not, always intentional, right? Sometimes it's unintentional. So we have to be very, very careful that we're documenting things the right way. If you choose to withdraw from the course, make sure you contact me and let me know so that I can process that for you. And I will be happy to help you out however you need. So that's all I'm going to talk about for the syllabus. Feel free to read through everything else on your own. Remember that the syllabus is a contract between you and I. So you want to make sure you know everything that's in there. I'm coming back into the Moodle course now. You'll see your major assignments in this course, which I just kind of talked about. Your major assignments are your literary analysis essay and a thesis and outline that's MLA formatted to organize that. You also have an APA formatted annotated bibliography, an APA formatted literature review, and an APA formatted but business style writing presentation at the end of the course. The course is thematic, so you will choose a social issue that you see within the poetry that we read, and then you will research that issue later on, and that's what you'll write your literature review and your annotated bibliography on. And then you will find an organization that represents that issue, and you will research that organization and present on that, and you will tie everything together at the end of the course. So everything continues throughout the course. So when we read the poetry, it's important that you read all of the poems every week. That's expected of you because you're going to be using that as we go throughout the course. Sending email just once again talks about the importance of properly formatting your emails. I use the announcements feature pretty regularly. Anytime I need to announce anything to the class, I'll use that feature. That will go to your email as well. The discussion forum grading, that's really important. So be sure that you review that. We use discussion forums throughout this class. I think 3 or 4 in the class. They're 100-point assignments. I think you're only 100-point assignments in your coursework grade. So they're really important. So when you're completing your discussions, it's really important that you be aware that you are fully answering all parts of the question. You are citing the texts that we're talking about. You're meeting the word count minimums at least. That you are doing peer responses that are substantial. And I'll talk about that a little bit later when we get to our first discussion. And all of your discussions in this class are worth 100 points. So that breakdown is there for you. Okay, scrolling on down. If you need support, if you need tutoring, let me know. I can refer you for tutoring. You also have the option to use paper drop-off through tutoring for our papers, and I will encourage you to do so. Their distance education contacts here are for you. Under resources, you will see where you can free download Microsoft Office 365, so there's no reason for you not to utilize Microsoft for your assignments in this course. And I encourage every student to utilize Grammarly for all assignments that you turn in to me. So your helpful tips for completing English 112, just make sure that you're watching all of your lectures, take notes while you're watching these lectures, complete your enrollment assignment immediately. As soon as you finish this video, I want you to go ahead and complete your enrollment assignment. Make sure you do it right away. And if you have any questions, please reach out and ask me. So your enrollment assignment is due, technically the cutoff date is January 21st. However, none of your assignments for week 1 will open until your enrollment assignment is complete. And your assignments for week 1 are due January 18th. So make sure you get that enrollment assignment done right away. You'll see that it's, don't worry about the 200 to 300 words, get as close as you can to that. But in future journals, 200 to 300 words is the expectation. For this journal, I wanna see that you can construct one paragraph that answers all 4 questions. So make sure you submit that as soon as possible, and then you can go ahead and watch week 1's video where I will review all the things we're gonna do in the first week. Welcome to the course.